just remembered something he was planning but never got around to. In the last session. Let's go going again. This run has a set end point. After we reach the point in question, I will be doing lots of codec calls. So it's here where that occurs. Let's make sure we have the animal camo. You could use the thermal goggles. But there's a kinda better tool at the moment. I normally don't use that. Looks like Python. I normally don't use this tool. And I went the wrong way. But it can be a useful light source. Wait. This is also the wrong way. Urgh. Just for a funny codec conversation, I'm eating this now. Just saying, as long as you're smoking, which is what I'm gonna be referring to what Snake's currently doing, you're constantly losing health. Here we go. The better light source. Let's get rid of this. And it's a weapon. Equip the torch. The torch illuminates a much wider area. These crabs can pinch you. Using the CQC button, you swing the torch. Using the fire weapon button, you turn off the torch. That's just the pipe. There are frogs here. As you can see. While swimming, like so, woodland naked yields a 95. Water don't do anything different. Interesting. But standing still in water, woodland water is a 95 here. We want to shoot one of these fish.
I see you've caught yourself a maroon shark. The maroon shark is found mostly in Southeast Asia, but it's not actually a shark. It's related to the carp. It's also known as the red-finned cigar shark, the river barb, and the sultan fish.
Interesting. So how does it taste?
According to the guide, it's good, but it's kind of oily and it has a lot of little bones.
Fine with me. I never worry about the little things.
So I gathered. I see you've caught yourself an arowana. The arowana is an ancient fish that lives in tropical freshwater areas. Because of its large size, I don't think you'll be able to capture one alive. Ancient fish like the arowana are living fossils. They've hardly changed their form since the Devonian and Jurassic periods.
We've already seen that.
I see you've caught yourself a Kenyan mangrove crab. The Kenyan mangrove crab is a land-going crab. It lives in burrows dug near seashores and mangrove swamps. It's not poisonous, but it might hurt a little if it attacks you with its pinchers. Treat it with caution.
Got it. So this thing must taste pretty good, huh?
Why do you say must?
It's a crab, isn't it?
It is.
And crabs are good to eat.
What's so good about them?
Not all crabs taste good, mind you.
Those things. They're all purple and yellow striped, and they stink like cat pee. But that's just my opinion. Don't listen to me. Let's see here. The guide says... No way. It says they're delicious. Well, if you want to eat one, then go right ahead, but count me out. I see you found some Russian glowcaps. The Russian glowcap is a kind of luminescent fungus, a mushroom that glows in the dark.
Why would a mushroom glow in the dark?
It's bioluminescent, just like a firefly. It uses the so-called luciferase reaction. To put it simply, luciferin reacts with luciferase in the presence of magnesium 2+ ions, breaking it down into oxyluciferin and carbon dioxide. The carbonyl groups in the oxyluciferin are initially in an electrical excited state. When they return to their base state, they give off light. Did you get all that?
Not really.
Oh.
I ate one and it recharged my batteries.
Huh?
I thought a mushroom that glows that bright was bound to charge up my batteries if I ate it. And I was right.
You're serious?
What's wrong?
Nothing. Snake, can you excuse me for a second?
Sure.
Did you just hear that?
Yeah. There's no way eating a bioluminescent mushroom would cause your batteries to recharge.
What do you think it means?
Beats me. Maybe it's all in his mind.
You mean like a placebo effect?
Why not? You've seen how gullible he is.
I guess there's no harm done. Should we let him keep believing it?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, Snake, I'm back. Yes, the Russian glowcap is a glowing mushroom, so it'll recharge your batteries when you eat it.
Yeah, Snake's falling for the placebo effect, but the way your batteries recharge gives me another thought. Because of the batteries recharged by you moving around, maybe the mushroom gives you some kind of adrenaline, which causes Snake's batteries to recharge. That's my guess.
By the way, Snake,
What?
you know the Ocelot unit commander?
Ocelot?
Skipping
Yeah,
this.
that's not his real name.
And eating. Well, first disposing of that. And that. My batteries are full, confirming the flavor.
Hey, this works.
With the easy gun equipped, your stamina never goes down. Let's eat an arowana. Snake eats it alive. There's only 2 more creatures. If the memory serves me right. And there's one of it. The next one's gonna be kind of a trouble point. We no longer need a reticulated python. As we have 2 Taiwanese cobra. Here's the other one. A bat. But we're not done in this area. As there is another path that's somewhere here. That has another item. And more back, if you care. night vision goggles. Very important. And hey, let's drink another frog. You know down there. That's where we got the ration. Well, where we saw a ration. Can you stop skipping? While I'm underwater.
I see you've caught yourself a Taiwanese cobra. The Taiwanese cobra is native to Taiwan and southern China. It's quite vicious and carries a potent neurotoxin in its fangs. Be careful. If it bites you, go into the survival viewer immediately and use the cure option to inject yourself with serum.
Sounds interesting.
Don't ask me.
Huh?
The guide doesn't say. If you absolutely have to know, then you'll just have to try it yourself and see.
I didn't say anything.
But you were going to ask, weren't you? About the taste?
Maybe.
I'll talk to you later, Snake. I see you've caught a vampire bat. The vampire bat bites its victims and sucks their blood.
Got it.
Speaking of bats...
Just save it.
Huh?
I know you're gonna talk about vampire movies. Attack of the Vampire Donuts, or Dracula versus the Space Hippos, or something like that.
Actually, I was going to say that bats are known to use supersonic waves to sense their surroundings.
Oh.
Bats use supersonic waves to sense their surroundings, so you might be able to keep them away by blasting them with a special kind of sound wave. Alternatively, you could try equipping a torch and waving it around with the CQC button. As for taste, I suppose there's no reason you couldn't eat them. Snake, do you hate vampire movies?
What?
Just now, you sounded like you really hated them.
I did?
Yeah,
Oh. Well, no one really likes them, do they?
some people do.
Like you.
Yeah, they're fascinating, you know? Like the movie Dracula.
Don't say it.
Why not?
Just don't.
Are you afraid?
What?
You're afraid of vampires, aren't you?
Don't be ridiculous.
But...
Listen, there are no such things as vampires. They're just a stupid, made-up legend. Even if they do seem real sometimes.
well, sure.
You think I'd be afraid of something like that?
No.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm not afraid of vampires.
Uh-huh.
It's just that whenever somebody starts talking about vampires, I end up dreaming about them that night, and I don't need that right now. That's all.
Okay. Snake, whatever happened...
As far as I know, you can't catch rabies from the vampires in the game.
Disgusting.
They don't taste good. If you take that into account for what you have Snake eat. And yeah, looks like I filled out the full map. Speaking of which way did I? The other way. and go into here. As you can see, it's nowhere near as dark as before. Snake's eyes automatically adapted over time to this dark environment. Of a note, you can do this while in a hole or in first person areas. You can train to these bats, but I don't see what purpose they'd have for being trained other than being a useful tool to scare enemies. I believe you are a Taiwanese cobra,
Hey, this works.
or at least poison. Let's make sure Yep, I'm headed the right way. No, I don't have zero plans of showing off how to send bats away. Just, I don't feel like starting that action at the moment because it would take going into my inventory. Likely a python. We've alerted the bats. Now, was it the active sonar? Let's equip. It says press the left stick. Oh, like that. As you see, the active sonar can send away those bats. Now what am I to do? There we go. I have some plans. Normally, as I've heard, hives rot and decay. But there's a strategy. At least to make
I caught you
a
at last.
stay.
We are the sons of the boss. I am the pain. I will guide you to a world of anguish beyond your imagination. Let's get started.
Let's equip that and our TNT to equip our 4 hornets' nest. They're currently in a state they could decay.
Go! Grenade! Hey! Grenade! Hey! Take this! Grenade!
As you see, we've lost our beehives. What happened to them? Well, they improved. These hives will never rot or decay. Let's eat one just to see how it tastes.
That's damn good.
Perfect flavor. I guess I probably
You will taste some real pain. Tommy gun!
Now the bullet bees are in play.
Get him! Grenade!
Ow! I didn't know he could do that.
Your bullets won't work!
I know.
Grenade! Go for! Get him!
Hit me.
Grenade! Take this!
That's exploding. Yep. Ointment and bandage. But hey, we get a cinematic of Snake healing himself. Let's help the chances.
Your bullets won't work! Tommy gun! What's that? Go, my brother! Is that the best you can do? Grenade! Your bullets won't work! My bullet bees! Go get it!
Good. We've got bullet bead. And frog. We've only got one bullet bee. Yet our health is going down frequently.
Snake, you've got bullet bees burrowing inside your body. Bullet bees are the name the pain gives the special hornets he raises inside his own body. And if they get into your body, your wounds will become worse and worse until you get rid of them. If you're afflicted by bullet bees, go into the survival viewer immediately and use Cure to dig them out with your knife. Once the bullet bees are out, don't forget to apply styptic and disinfectant to the wound.
So we need to use diptych, disinfectant, and knife. Now I can actively fight.
Is that all you've got? I told you, come out and play. Get him! Grenade!
Keep an eye on the paint.
Grenade! Get him! Tommy God! Grenade! Tommy God!
And we've beat the pain.
The pain! The pain!
I technically don't consider Ocelot a boss, but the pain, I do. Every last bit. And as such, let's learn a bit about everything we've collected to this point. But first, I'll be having facecam twice in this video. Once here for those who don't care. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. But most of all, as always, keep it joyful. And for those of you who care about all the miscellaneous codicals, there are some funny ones among them. But for now, I am gonna cover everything we've collected since the start of the Snake Eater operation. So, if you're intrigued in it, keep watching. If you're not, this is the end of the video. As I said earlier, we're equipping every weapon slot we can. The life medicine fake death pill don't have any results. Cigar, binoculars, and the night vision goggles. No paint, naked. Let's start with the easy gun. Night vision goggles, no paint and naked. I'm gonna be calling second a lot. 4 times per equipment
Yo, you snake, huh?
set. Ignoring that
Sounds like the code.
and that
The Davy Croc.
and that. We only care about the equipment.
Aha, you're using the easy gun.
Yeah. What is this gun anyway? I've never seen anything like it.
Of course you haven't. It's a noise-suppressed tranquilizer gun I designed especially for Fox.
A noise-suppressed tranquilizer gun. But it doesn't have a...
It doesn't need a suppressor.
What do you mean?
The noise-suppressing mechanism is built into the tranquilizer rounds themselves. The inside of the powder case contains a tiny piston. It's set up so that when the firing gas pushes the piston pushes the bullet out of the chamber. The firing gas is sealed within the chamber by the piston, preventing it from escaping outside. That's why there's no sound when it fires.
Fascinating.
While I was at it, I also fitted it with an experimental laser sight. That ought to give you a good aim even when you're shooting from the hip. And just having the easy gun equipped makes it tougher for your camo index to drop.
Wow.
And it'll help you recover your stamina.
Nice.
On top of all that, it looks just like a Liberator.
A what?
A Liberator. We supplied them to the resistance in Europe during World War II. They look alike, don't they?
Yeah.
To be honest, that's the part I had the most trouble with. Getting the feature I just mentioned to work in a gun of that size and shape wasn't easy.
But why?
Why what?
Why do you go to all the trouble of making it look like a Liberator?
'Cause it looks cool, man. Why do you think? Hey, what's that you're wearing?
Night vision goggles. This gadget lets me see in the dark by amplifying light and displaying it as images.
Amplifying light?
That's what it looks like to me.
Well, I'll be damned. They're working on something like that here in the States, but so far it's not viable unless it's coupled with an infrared searchlight. And now the Russians have something you can carry with you. Anyway, those goggles should give you a decent visual range even in dark places. But don't look at anything bright like fire or it'll get burned into your eyes and you won't be able to see for a while. Be careful. Snake, what's up? Why are you naked? I know there's a naked option under uniform that lets you take off the upper part of your uniform, but without a shirt on, your camouflage sucks and your stamina goes down faster. You don't get any advantages whatsoever.
Sure there are.
Like what?
It feels good.
Man, you do whatever you want.
I will, thanks. Just one question, though.
What?
Is there a way to take off my pants?
Say what?
My pants, can I?
Oh, hell no! This Fox unit is a nut fest.
That's one codec conversation I look forward to every single run of Snake Eater.
Um, you mean you're not wearing any face paint? You can take off your face paint by selecting no paint from face. Just select no paint when you want to skip wearing any face paint at all. But your camo index is never going to be as high without face paint as it is with it. Unless you want the enemy to see you, you ought to be wearing face paint.
That equips the weapon. We're skipping that one for now. We'll be stopping for face paint to mask because there's nothing for green down.
Ah, you're using the survival knife.
Yeah, this thing provides me with all the bare essentials I need to survive in the field.
Hey, wait. What'd you do with the knife I made you? That was a work of art. It had matches and fish hooks and thread and stuff in the grip.
Sorry to have to tell you this, but that thing is useless in a fight.
No way. Really?
Yeah, when the grip is hollowed out like that, there's not as much space to stabilize the blade. So the joint between the blade and the grip is weaker. That makes it easier to break.
I get it. You're right. With your knife, you don't have to worry about it breaking no matter how much you swing it around. So the important thing is durability. Man, I gotta write this stuff down. Next time, I'll make it so the matches and fish hooks go in the sheath instead.
Ah,
Snake, you smoking a cigarette?
it's not a cigarette. It's a cigar.
Same thing?
It's not the same thing.
Doesn't matter to me. What I want to know is, why'd you take it with you?
Because I need it.
For what?
I can't smoke a cigar if I don't have one, can I?
So you just wanted to smoke it?
Yeah.
Man, you got problems. Do what you want. Just keep in mind that your life goes down when you're smoking it. I see you're wearing the olive drab uniform. Olive drab, or OD for short, is the standard battle uniform for GIs. It's a solid color outfit with no camouflage pattern, so naturally it's not going to be much use as camouflage. I'd change it to something else as soon as possible if I were you. So, you're wearing woodland face paint. The woodland paint is most effective in forest environments. It'll work best if you use it when infiltrating forest areas. The weapon you've got equipped now is a prototype model of the Mark 22, a suppressor-equipped pistol currently in development by the Navy. It's been modified to act as a tranquilizer gun. The Mark 22 is a heavily modified special ops version of the M39 pistol used as a sidearm by the SEALs. Probably the biggest change from the M39 is that it's got a longer barrel, which allows it to be equipped with a suppressor. And it uses a slide lock mechanism. That makes it a lot quieter, but it also means you have to load a new round into the chamber by hand every time you fire. It's also fitted with tall, adjustable sights, so you can use the front and rear sights to line up your shot even with a suppressor attached.
Looks like they got rid of the magazine safety, too.
Good eye. That feature wasn't too popular with guys like you who know their guns. The shear release lever's been taken off as well, meaning the hammer won't fall even with the safety on.
So I can just cock and lock.
That, and you get the added bonus of not having any mechanical noise from decocking, even with the safety on. The perfect pistol for a sneaking mission, huh? Got some life medicine, huh? Life medicine is...
Life medicine is a drug recently developed by the Soviet Union for use in battle. The components are still a mystery, but it seems to activate the body's regenerative processes and makes injuries heal faster.
Well,
Open the window and press the enter button to instantly replenish your life. Useful, huh? Huh? What's wrong, Sigan?
Never mind.
I do like it when paramedic interrupts again.
You're wearing the tiger stripe pattern camouflage, huh? Tiger stripe is a forest camouflage. As you may have guessed by the name, it mimics the stripe pattern on a tiger's coat. It was originally worn by South Vietnamese Marines. Then it caught the attention of an American military advisor, and now they're thinking of introducing it into all kinds of special forces units. It works best in places with lots of trees and grass, but it should blend in with dirt and mud too. Wearing black face paint, huh? Painting your face with black paint should give you a high rate of camouflage in dark areas.
Yeah, blackface paint practically don't have much talk. This next one's gonna be a talky one.
Hey, you've got an M1911A1.
Yeah, a 45. 50 years since the Army adopted the first model, and they're still using them. It's a real gem of an automatic pistol.
But aren't you gonna need more than just one little handgun?
Not at all. When you're in a tight spot or fighting in close quarters, sometimes a handgun works better than a rifle. And if I equip a knife at the same time, I can instantaneously switch over to hand-to-hand combat.
I see. That 45 you've got there is a lot different from the original, though. Looks like someone did some serious work on it.
It's more than a little. First of all, the feeding ramp is polished to a mirror sheen. It's not going to have any feeding problems. The slide's been replaced with a reinforced version, and it meshes perfectly with the frame. The frame itself has been iron welded and scraped down multiple times for maximum precision. The front strap part of the frame has been checkered to make it dig into the hand. That prevents any slipping. The sight system's original too. It's a 3-dot type. It's got an enlarged front sight, giving it superior target sighting capability. The regular hammer's been replaced with a ring hammer. That enhances the cocking control and increases the hammer down speed. They also reworked the grip safety to accommodate the ring hammer. Looks like they eliminated it altogether. This is a tool for pros. The thumb safety and the slide stop are extended to allow for more precise handling. The base of the trigger guard is whittled down so you can use a high grip. And the trigger itself is a long type for easy finger access. The trigger pull is about 3.5 pounds. That's about 1.5 pounds lighter than normal. The magazine well has been widened to make it easier to put in a new magazine. The magazine catch button has been cut down low to make it harder to hit it by mistake. The mainspring housing has been changed to a flat type to increase grip, and it's even been fitted with stepping so it doesn't slip from the recoil when firing. On top of that, they added cocking serrations to the front part of the slide. That lets you load and eject cartridges faster in an emergency. Whoever did this is a professional. No question, this thing could shoot a one-hole at 25 yards in a machine rest.
Well, I'll be damned. That's some gun.
Yeah, I've never used a weapon this fine in my life.
As I said, that one's gonna be talky.
Active sonar sends out a special type of sound wave whenever you press the left stick.
Press
It
and
uses
hold.
the echo from those waves to calculate and display the position of nearby objects. Unlike the motion detector, it'll show you objects that aren't moving. But because you're blasting out sound waves, there's a risk that the noise will alert enemies and animals to your presence. Be careful about when and where you use it.
In general, I don't like that weapon. I mean, that tool.
Wearing the leaf pattern camouflage, are you? Leaf pattern is a forest camouflage created to provide cover in woodland areas. Now that our involvement in Vietnam looks set to expand, they're thinking about adopting it for official use. It'll help you blend in especially well when you're hiding in the bushes. Looks like you're using splitter face paint. Splitter is an indoor face paint. Painting your face with splitter should help you blend in better when you're infiltrating a building. got yourself an AK-47, huh? The AK-47 is the official assault rifle of the Soviet Army. The first model was completed in 1946, and in 49, it beat out all its competitors to become the standard assault rifle of the Soviet military. It uses 7.62mm by 39 rounds developed in 1943, and a 30-round box magazine originally designed for a different assault rifle. You can aim it from the shoulder by equipping it in first-person view and holding down the aim button. It's sturdy and extremely reliable with high power and precision. There's no better assault rifle in the world. Hey, what's that you've got there?
Thermal goggles. From what I can tell, they detect and display sources of heat.
You're kidding me. They actually made a passive infrared night vision device small enough to carry around with you?
What, is that special or something?
Is it special? Here in the West, we've just barely got the technology to install it on aircraft.
So that's what that thing is they put on the gunship. But doesn't the Army have something like that for driving vehicles at night? I thought I saw...
You mean the ANPAS-5. That's an active infrared night vision device. It fires infrared beams from an infrared projector and uses the reflections to build an image. Those goggles you've got there are completely different. Basically, when you've got those equipped, you'll be able to spot enemy soldiers in the jungle with ease, even if they're camouflaged. They might even help you find traps. But you won't be able to see the terrain as well, so watch your step. So you're wearing the tree bark camouflage. Tree bark is a forest pattern created primarily for use by hunters. It'll give you an exceptionally low profile if you wear it when you're pressed up against a tree. You're wearing snow face paint. Snow face paint was designed for use in Arctic operations. It's most effective against snowy backgrounds.
I prefer the motion detector over the sonar, as it shows everything the sonar does, but it's better.
I see you got yourself an M37. The M37 is a 12-gauge pump-action shotgun. Don't expect any kind of accuracy from a distance, but one blast will send the enemy flying, and it's got some serious firepower, too. Good thing to have with you in close-range combat. It takes a while to reload, though, so plan accordingly. The thing that really distinguishes the M37 is that it's lightweight. It's about 2 pounds lighter than other shotguns. In fact, it's so light that it's been nicknamed the Featherlight.
Yeah, and to top it off, this one's had its barrel and stock sawed off.
That's probably a modification to make it easier to wield in the jungle. Those Soviet boys know what they're doing. I guess the other distinguishing feature would be the lack of an ejection port on the side of the receiver.
Ambidextrous, huh?
Exactly. It's been designed so you can use it left-handed or right-handed with equal ease. But that's not all. The low number of apertures means that it won't get jammed up as much with mud and dirt when you use it out in the field. This weapon is made for the jungle.
Good to know. But what are they doing with an American-made shotgun?
Good question. I guess they could be doing research on Western weapons, but... Did you ever hear about the SAS using shotguns in the jungle combat in Malaya?
Just stories.
In the jungle, you're always running into the enemy when you least expect it. The SAS found the shotgun to be extremely effective, delivering massive firepower in a short period of time. Because of that, lately a lot of point men are starting to use shotguns as their weapon of choice. Vogan's men might be trying that tactic out for themselves.
This is how aiming with this thing works. Not that effective, huh? Reason I left there is Simply, we've already seen snow and tree bark.
The motion detector will display any moving objects in your vicinity. But the enemy isn't the only thing that's moving around in the jungle. If there are animals moving nearby, the sensor will pick up those animals too. And remember that there's a limit to how sensitive it is. Enemies and animals that don't move around very much won't get picked up. Ah, you're wearing the chocolate chip pattern.
Chocolate chip? You mean this camouflage?
Yeah,
I've never heard of a camo pattern called that before.
yeah, I know. I just thought it up right now. The chocolate chip pattern is probably designed to provide cover in a desert environment. It should work best against a sandy or rocky background.
Makes sense, but why'd you call it chocolate chip?
Cause that's what it reminds me of.
What?
Those little round cookies that Major's always snacking on?
They're not cookies, they're scones.
Major!
And it's not a snack, it's afternoon tea.
Snack, tea, same thing?
No, it's not. Look here, afternoon tea is a fine old English tradition.
Uh-oh, here we go again. Talk to you later, Snake.
The origins of afternoon tea go back to the Victorian era. Anna Maria, the 7th Duchess of Bedford, was...
Remember that Sigint supposedly made up the name, but it's called chocolate chip even before you talk to Sigint. And enemies refer it to chocolate chip later on when interrogating.
Snake, your face paint is
I know. It's called zombie.
zombie. What does that mean?
Beats me.
Are you serious?
Hello, paramedic.
You mean you've never heard of zombies?
Nope.
Never.
You guys don't know anything. A zombie is a dead body that's been cursed and brought back to life by a master of black magic. Supposedly, they revive the dead and use them as slaves. It's also seen as a kind of punishment.
Or some virus. Hence a likely in Walking Dead.
Missed it.
You can't just focus on the things you like all the time. You have to expand your horizons, try new things. You guys need to get out more.
Yeah, well, anyway, that face paint doesn't look all that useful. Go ahead and wear it if you want, but I think you should change to...
You don't need to change anything.
Why not?
It makes them look awesome. Doesn't it?
Look, arguing about it isn't going to get us anywhere. Snake, you do whatever you want.
It does make you look cool.
Equipping everything sides of the binoculars to equip mine detector, anti-personal sensor, crocodile cap, and bug juice. Equipping splitter camo and the mask. If you pay attention, the eyelids of the mask do clothes? Or so Sagan says. Haven't caught it yet myself.
A torch? A little primitive, but a light's a light. From what I can tell, that torch is made of white birch dipped in turpentine. It burns long, so I don't think you'll have a problem with it burning out on you. If you equip it and press the CQC button, you can use it to smack the enemy. You can also swing it around by pressing that button repeatedly. Useful when you need to clear the room of bats and stuff. With the weapon button, you can light and extinguish a torch, so make sure that thing is out if an enemy is closing in. Get used to it. The light from the torch is visible from a long way off, though. It probably goes without saying, but marching into battle with a torch in your hand is not the sanest course of action. You should only light a torch when you're someplace like a cave where you can't find your way around without a light.
Yeah, I hear you.
I see you have the bug juice equipped. It's useful for keeping the bugs away. If you open the item window and press the enter button, you'll be able to keep the nasty critters like hornets and leeches at bay for a brief period of time. Use it well.
Tell me something, Sigint.
What's that?
What does Sigint mean, anyway?
It's short for signal intelligence.
Signal intelligence?
The part of intelligence that deals with electronic information.
No need to hear that.
Looks like you're wearing the splitter pattern camo. Splitter was used quite a bit in World War II on German aircraft and stuff. The pattern helped mask the plane's attitude and direction in dogfights. Even now, it's still being used as camouflage in some places. It works best when you wear it against a steel or stone background. Ah, you're wearing the mask. I made it myself. Pretty good work, don't you think? A while back, they were planning to disguise someone as this one GRU officer and send him in to steal some secret documents. I created the mask for that operation. But then the mission ended up being canceled. And then the major came and told me to throw it out. Can you believe that guy?
But you didn't throw it out.
Are you kidding? Tossing a superior quality product like that into the garbage without using it will be an insult to science. So I decided to sneak it into your gear.
Okay, but is it really that big of a deal?
Of course it is.
What's so great about it?
Everything. But if I had to pick one reason, I'd have to say it's because it's the first mask ever that can blink its eyes.
What about the lips?
What's that?
Can it open its mouth?
That's a good one, Snake. You crazy, man.
I'm serious.
Are you even listening to me, Snake? Where's your common sense? Damn.
Sorry.
We're gonna need the mask. It's a good thing he snuck it into our gear. Let's go back to no paint. Because we don't have any more face paint conversations.
Gonna use a grenade, huh? That's an RGD-5, the standard blast fragmentation grenade of the Soviet Army. The grenade itself is composed of two steel-plated casings. Each of those casings has an inner fragment liner that causes it to burst into over 300 shards when the grenade explodes. The grenade will deliver heavy damage to any enemies within its blast area. The safety pin is on the opposite side relative to the M26, so be sure to hold the safety lever down with your finger when you grip it. The safety is released when you actually throw the grenade, and it'll explode about 3 seconds later.
So what you're saying is, it won't explode in my hand while I'm holding it?
Of course not.
Oh.
To throw a grenade, press and release the weapon button. Remember that how far you throw it depends on how long the button's pressed. A short tap will drop it close to you, and a long press will lob it away. It'll probably be easier to control your throw if you do it in first-person view.
Quite frankly, IRL cases, grenades can explode in your hand. Snake's just holding it in a way that keeps the contents from mixing.
A cap shaped like a crocodile head, you say?
Yeah. What do you think?
I think it's a great idea. You know, animal disguises are one of the oldest tricks in the book in the intelligence world. I don't know whether it's true or not, but I've heard that during World War II, the OSS used to use cow suits. Supposedly, they sent agents out to hide in herds of real cows so they could spy on enemy units as they passed by. Nowadays, I guess most people wouldn't even give a crocodile-shaped cap a second look. They think it was just a gag item. But if you use it the right way, it can be an effective weapon for spying. I gotta hand it to you, Snake. You're one sharp guy. You okay, Snake?
Forget it.
Huh? Wearing raindrop pattern camo, huh? Raindrop was used by Germany during World War II. Even now, it's still used a lot in Eastern Europe. It's designed to be especially inconspicuous in the rain, so you'll get the most out of it if you put it on during a downpour.
I think referring to that crocodile cap code conversation with Sigint, Snake was hoping Sigint would say, "It looks cool on you."
Pattern clothing, face paint, tactical.
Oh yeah, I don't need face paint anymore for codec. The book has no codec conversations. Let's real quick equip the scope.
I see you're using the binoculars. Those are high-performance binoculars made especially for the military. They're completely waterproof and are filled with nitrogen gas to prevent lens fog. The eyepiece, objective lenses, and the prism have been coated to reduce glare. They ought to work plenty well even in dark places. And they're even equipped with autofocus and zoom functions. Won't find a better pair of binoculars than that.
What are you, a binocular salesman?
Hey, I know a good product when I see one, that's all.
Huh.
Wait, I can equip other items with it. Squares now.
Ah, you're thinking of using a white phosphorus grenade. Like the name says, a white phosphorus grenade is one that uses white phosphorus to create an incendiary effect. White phosphorus grenades were used by the US military during World War II. Back then they were known as Willie Pete's, after the first two letters of white phosphorus. The one you've got there is probably the exact same thing. White phosphorus is a white, waxy substance that spontaneously combusts when it reacts with oxygen. The combustion temperature is over 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Any human targets within the area of effect when it explodes are gonna get seriously burned. Just make sure you don't accidentally set yourself on fire. If your body does catch on fire, either plunge into some water or take off the burning clothes and put on new ones. Rolling repeatedly should put the flames out pretty quick too. Snake, what are you doing?
I'm in a box.
A cardboard box? Why are you...
I don't know, I was just looking at it, and suddenly I got this irresistible urge to get inside. No, not just an urge. More than that. It was my destiny to be here. In the box.
Destiny?
Yeah. And then when I put it on, I suddenly got this feeling of inner peace. I can't put it into words. I feel safe. Like this is where I was meant to be. Like I'd found the key to true happiness.
Uh-huh.
Does any of that make sense?
Not even a little.
You should come inside the box. Then you'll know what I mean.
Man, I don't want to know what you mean. Between you and Paramedic, is everyone but me that is hooked up with a Major Strange?
Ah.
Yeah, well, anyway, I suppose even that dumbass box might make a decent disguise if you wear it inside a building.
That's one of my more favorite second calls.
Looks like you've got the squares pattern on. Squares is a mountain camo that's basically a bunch of square patterns. It might look conspicuous at first glance, but it actually blurs the contours of the person wearing it and makes them more difficult to pick out. It should give you a low profile against reddish backgrounds like bricks and rusty metal.
For more due to animals, desert tiger, DPN, Flectorn, and Ozcam, as far as I know, don't have codex.
I've never seen a grenade like that one before. There are two basic types of grenades. Fragmentation grenades, which use shrapnel to kill or maim the target, and explosive grenades, which use the blast from the explosion as the offensive means. But the grenade you've got there isn't either of those. My best guess is that it's meant to knock the enemy out without hurting them. Most likely it's an entirely new kind of weapon developed exclusively at Groznygrad. I've heard that the SAS is working on a low-impact grenade for training purposes, but I never thought they'd be used in an actual battle. The flash of light that occurs when the grenade explodes is probably produced by magnesium. It's the same stuff that's used in camera flashes. I'm thinking they cut down on killing power by reducing the amount of explosives and made up for it by making the flash and bang so strong that it overwhelms the enemy's senses. I guess you could call it a stun grenade.
If I'm going to be stunned, I'd rather it be by a woman.
Snap out of it. Anyone around when that thing goes off will be laid out. It ought to come in handy when you're trying to storm a room or when you don't want to kill the enemy. Using the anti-personnel sensor, I see. The sensor vibrates when it detects organic reactions from human targets. It's been adjusted to respond only to humans, so unlike other sensors, it'll let you ignore animals and focus only on the enemy. It'll even detect enemies that aren't moving, and you won't have to worry about it giving away your position. But on the flip side, it won't tell you the exact location of the target. Keep that in mind when you're using it. Also, remember that when you use it in first-person view, it'll only scan in the direction you're facing. Wearing the water pattern, are we? The water pattern was used a lot by the old German Defense Force. Even though it's called the water pattern, it wasn't designed specifically to blend in underwater. They only gave it that name because the pattern resembles the waves on the surface of a pool of water. But still, it really does look like it could be confused for liquid waves. It might conceal you underwater.
Not yet.
That's a weird grenade you got there. From what I can tell, it's an anti-electronics weapon that works by scattering a bunch of metal foil in the air to interfere with radio signals. Call it a chaff grenade, if you will. By using a chaff grenade, you can disrupt the function of enemy radios and electronic devices for a short period of time. But keep in mind that as long as the chaff is in effect, you won't be able to use your motion detector or active sonar either. Using the mine detector, huh? When you equip the mine detector, it lets you know with a sound if there are any claymore mines nearby. A mine detector is basically a metal detector, so ordinarily it reacts to scrap iron the same way it reacts to mines. They say that only about 1 out of every 100 objects it responds to is an actual mine. Not exactly what you call reliable. So they're researching other ways to detect mines, like sniffing for molecules given off by explosives and using a kind of underground radar. One of these days, they might actually make something that works. But the one you're using is apparently set up so that it only reacts when it finds a claymore on the ground. No need to worry about it being fooled by anything other than a mine. Haha, so you're wearing the black camouflage. The black uniform isn't really camouflage. It was intended to have a psychological shock effect on enemies in hostage rescue operations and stuff like that. But it should also make you pretty hard to see if you wear it in a dark environment. And it might also work on black, earthy surfaces like you'd find in swamps.
Almost done. I know how you're likely feeling. I'm kinda bored too. We haven't heard smoke grenade.
Thinking of using a smoke grenade, huh? As you might expect, smoke grenades can be used to create a smoke screen. The combustion agent is a mixture of zinc oxide, ammonium chloride, aluminum, and some other stuff. When it explodes, it releases a thick cloud of grayish-white smoke that resists dispersion. That should provide some nice cover. The smoke will confuse the enemy by blocking their field of vision. That'll help you out when you're trying to make a quick getaway. It also works the other way around. You can use it as cover to sneak up on an enemy position. The smoke screen should work just as well when you're being chased by dogs, too. The camo pattern you're wearing now is called Snow. Snow, as you might have guessed, is a winter camouflage developed to provide cover in a snowy environment. It's not solid white, though. It's got a little bit of vegetation pattern mixed in, too. It should work pretty well if you wear it against a white background.
Hunt backpack. Just because I want to do him in order, I'm equipping scientist, which equips your weapon.
So you're wearing the scientist uniform. Wearing that scientist outfit lets you pose as a scientist. But be forewarned, you can't equip most of your weapons while you're disguised as a scientist. Even when you're disguised, your cover will be blown if you get blood on your clothes or something. If you do get blood on your clothes, take them off and switch to another outfit. The bloodstain should come out after a little while.
We've only got one final camo left. And 4 weapon types.
You say you're using a magazine? A magazine is what's left when you empty the clip of a gun. But what do you plan to do with it?
I'm going to throw it.
Throw it?
Yeah, the sound it makes when it hits the ground will distract the enemy's attention.
Ah, a diversion. Guess state-of-the-art weapons aren't the only things that determine victory or defeat. Snake, what's that camouflage?
It's called Hornet Stripe. I got it from the paint.
No kidding. Sounds like a pretty unique design. From the looks of it, it's somehow infused with the power of hornets.
The power of hornets?
Sure. When you're wearing that outfit, hornets won't attack you. Neither will spiders or leeches. You might even be able to tame the ones that come flying out of a hive.
Now we're at the final three.
Looks like you've got some TNT. TNT is short for trinitrotoluene, a pale yellow crystalline compound made from a trinitrified mix of nitric acid and sulfuric acid. It's used throughout the world as a military explosive. It has a low sensitivity and is chemically stable, making it easy to handle. It's also got a low melting point and can easily be shaped by boiling or steaming. But because the sensitivity is so low, you need a booster to actually get it to explode.
No problem. It came with its own remote control detonator.
Good. Then all you have to do is press the weapon button to place the TNT, and then press the CQC button to set it off. The map screen in the survival viewer will display the locations where you've planted TNT. Take warning though, the radio signal for the detonator is pretty weak. Don't forget that pressing the CQC button will only set off TNT that's planted in the same area. Ah, you got yourself some claymores. The M18A1 Claymore is a new type of anti-personnel directional mine developed in the US after the Korean War. The gently curved casing is packed with 1.5 pounds of high-grade explosives. The side facing the enemy is lined with 700 steel ball bearings. So when the mine explodes, the ball bearings simultaneously burst out of the casing. Anyone in the kill zone, be he friend or foe, is instant Swiss cheese. The mine is triggered by an electric detonator. Apparently, the detonator's got some kind of special motion detector built in.
Yeah. When the mine is planted, it reacts to anything that comes close and automatically explodes.
Just make sure you don't trip your own mine or something stupid like that.
I'll be careful.
You can pick up a planted claymore by crawling over it. Mines planted by the enemy can also be picked up in this way. So if you come across a minefield, it's a good idea to crawl through it and pick up the mines.
What are they doing making minefields out of Western mines anyway?
They're probably doing field performance evaluations on mines they either captured or stole from the West. The structure of the claymore isn't actually all that complicated. They must be learning a lot about them. It might not be long before we start seeing Claymoraski mines.
And finally, what will be one of the most important tools for a plan of the mine?
Hey, you got a mousetrap. That mousetrap is a portable tool for capturing small animals alive. Press the weapon button to place it on the ground. Come back a little bit later and there might be a frog or a snake caught in there. Whether or not you actually catch anything, though, is all a matter of luck. Don't get all down if there's nothing in the trap. Try and try again. Also, don't forget that you need some bait in the trap or nothing's gonna come crawling in there. If you capture an animal with the trap, it won't have any bait left. Just crawl to pick it up, then put some more bait back in and set it down again. You can use the map in the survival viewer to see where you've placed traps. If you forget where you put a trap, just look at the map.
And with that, we've covered every single useful item besides a directional mic. Oi!
I see you've picked up a directional microphone. The directional microphone is exactly what it looks like, a listening device. When you equip it, you go into first-person view and the mic will pick up sounds in whatever direction you point it in. The directional microphone will let you hear a lot of things you couldn't hear otherwise, like really soft noises and the footsteps of faraway enemy soldiers. You ought to find it useful when you want to know whether there's an enemy on the other side of the woods or something. Try it out.
And now we can equip that directional microphone, equip our easy gun and TNT and M1911A1. All these fish in this water are maroon sharks. And some more life medicine that I'll probably never use. And I'm doing something just to make sure it saves I've done this stuff.
Saving the game, Snake?
Because now we've finished
Snake,
this
have you heard of It
episode.
Came from Outer Space?
Yeah, you told me already.
So this astronomer sees a meteor, but it's really an alien spaceship, right? And the aliens start replacing the townspeople with clones and forcing them to help repair the ship. The 3D effects were quite realistic.
I've got all the real I can handle here in the jungle.
No, you don't get it. Precisely because it's realistic, with the images jumping out of the screen at you, it makes for a nice escape from reality. I have to admit it made my eyes tired, but it was really intense. Unfortunately, they don't make very many of those movies anymore.
When did it come out?
I was still in college, so probably about 10 years ago?
Guess I'm out of luck then.
You know, they're coming out with household versions of video cassette recorders. One day you'll be able to see old movies anytime you want. It'll be like having a movie theater in your own home.
Really?
It's like if you had a record with movie film etched onto it instead of music. It'll work the same way.
You're kidding.
No, really. And someday they might make movies where you control the characters yourself.
Sounds like magic.
It'll happen. Make sure you stay alive to see it, Snake.
That one she was referring to at the beginning was a VCR. I grew up with one. And then DVD players came out, which is the record that's with footage she's referring to. And at the end, she's referring to video games. And now we have a Blu-ray, which is apparently better than a DVD. I just don't get how. If you're still watching, question of the day: what is the difference between a Blu-ray disc and a normal disc size color. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe. But most of all, as always, keep it joyful!